Hi there people, welcome back to another update video on Hcmc. Tonight we are looking at quite a lot of action in Hcmc's share price. Very volatile, but it is another day to the downside. Getting a percentage on it, we can see about a 13.8% decrease today. This comes after a day in the red yesterday, so of course since about the 10th, which was just a few days ago, up until now we are seeing a decrease of around 8%. This may not sound significant, but after last week being quite positive for Hcmc, we are starting to give back some of those gains, being up only 3% from this point here, which was on the 5th of March. The question now though is, should you be buying this dip, or should you leave it a day or so, or just avoid Hcmc in general? Well, obviously I am not a financial advisor, I'm sure you already know this, but I am going to state it again, so please make sure to do your own research and come to your own conclusions. But in this one, I'm sharing all of my opinions and some information which you may want to know. If you might enjoy that, please do make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to this channel. We are trying to grow the channel and we are doing a fantastic job of that, so thank you for helping us. And of course, if you did want to help us financially, you can do that by pressing the join button, which is located next to the subscribe button. Thank you for everything so far. Let's jump into this video. Right, so I want to start off quickly by looking at the price of Hcmc over the past day. So once again, we are seeing a day in the red like I have mentioned, which is not quite good for the stock. A lot of this sell-off was coming from 9:30 and beyond. We can see it basically ended at this low point down here, which was about 11.05. So from there, we actually built up in price again. If we do get a percentage on it, if we can see we were up by around 10%, which is quite good. Again, we actually did hit past this level here, which was the 0.001 level, and it did look quite stable in there, but towards the end of session we are dipping even further down to the 0.0015 range. So it looks like we are kind of in that range for the moment being. I personally do believe it is possible that we could close on this range. I do not think markets have closed yet, so yeah, things so far not looking too bad, and we are quite stable in this range, which is good. I wouldn't have liked this one to dip any further down. So again, if we can stay stable here, that would be fantastic. So of course the past 5 days once again are pretty neutral. We are still up by around 6% according to Google, because it has just bounced up to 0.016, so not bad, about 6% gains, but it's not as big as what we have previously seen, as we have already discussed. So a few things to talk about now going forwards with this share price. We're going to start off on our website, which we looked at last night, which is called Pacer Monitor. If you did miss last night's episode, basically Pacer Monitor is a website which I have found which allows us to track a lot of the information regarding the Philip Morris and of course Hcmc lawsuit. So on Tuesday we saw a motion of an extension for time, which basically meant that both sides have joined together and looked for an extension in time. So potentially, like we talked about in last night's episode, they could be looking to sort something out of court, but that is not guaranteed. So of course both companies now apparently working together to have a bit longer out of court just to see what happens. Now this was on Tuesday and nothing was guaranteed at that time, but we can see here Wednesday the 10th, which was yesterday, and this came late after making the video, I do believe. We have actually had that order granted, so of course that is good. So now we are looking at some more time potentially for this one to explode in price, as we could be looking at something happening out of court. So what we can see down here is Philip Morris, their time to respond is by April the 16th of this year. So of course that does give us around a month more from right now, so that is pretty good. We could be looking at something happening in that time frame, possibly from what I can tell, but nothing is guaranteed. So the question is, could this one be working out of court to settle something? Of course it is possible that that could be happening, but nothing is guaranteed at the moment. If they are working together, if this one does get settled, we all know that we are looking at some huge gains possibly coming with the share price. A lot of people are anticipating good things for the share price. I think this is why we are seeing it stable at the moment for the current time. I'm going to talk about this in just a second, but another thing which I want to bring your attention to is obviously the Biden stimulus package. Now this is for $1.9 trillion. It is a very insane amount of money, but the result of this is that about $1,400 goes out to most Americans. Now, this is good. We have spoken about this in multiple episodes tonight, but what I am saying is I think a lot of people are going to be using this to invest in the stock market. Now, I think some people could be using this to invest in Hcmc, and I don't think it is impossible that they could be, boosting the Hcmc share price going forwards into the next few weeks. So ultimately, Hcmc is quite flat at the moment. I personally do believe that is because a lot of people are actually, buying shares or have bought shares at the lower prices, or perhaps even now, and are just holding those shares. Like I have said in previous episodes, it is quite risky, this stock anyway, and right now we just don't know what is going on. But I know for me at least, I have bought my 800,000+ shares, and I'm not really looking to buy too many more. I might buy an extra 200,000 in the next few weeks, if I do get the extra, spare money to invest in it. But personally, I am not looking to add too many more shares. I think a lot of people are feeling like that about Hcmc. They just have a decent amount of shares which they are willing to hold at the moment for the next few weeks. I think subsequently we aren't seeing the share price move too much, as a lot of people are locking in those shares and just holding for the long term. I think that is an approach that a lot of people are going for, and I think that is why we are seeing the share price quite flat at the moment. Of course, some people were expecting this one to explode, and I think because of that, a lot of people have sold off because they did not get the immediate gains which they were expecting, and I think that is fine. Again, if we can level out in the 0.0015 range tomorrow, hopefully we can. I think that would put us in a fantastic position to see the share price start to go back up slowly but surely. And if that is the case, fantastic. But ultimately, we are waiting for the next 1 to 2 months to see what happens with this lawsuit, to see what happens with Hcmc in general. And personally, I am still optimistic, as I have discussed. I do own quite a large number of shares, and right now I am down on my position, and I think that is fine. Again, if you were wondering, I have spoken about this previously, but I am looking to hold my shares for the next 12 months. Now, don't get me wrong, guys, if it was to pop up in price, if it was to double, triple, perhaps more, I could possibly sell those shares and be comfortable with that, because of course if it does rocket, of course I'm going to take those gains. It is a reasonable thing to do. But if it does remain pretty stable, pretty flat, pretty steady, I would be happy to hold the share for the next 12 months or so, because I do see a lot of potential from the company from a fundamental standpoint. So right now we already know that the lawsuit with Philip Morris is the most immediate catalyst, but I do think there's a lot going for this company long term anyway, and I think it could be a fantastic hold. But the most important thing to remember is it is a high risk, high reward penny stock. Don't risk more than you are willing to lose. I think that is important, and I think that does need to be stressed constantly, because yes, this stock could explode in price, don't get me wrong, but I think a lot of people are expecting this to make them a millionaire overnight, and that is not necessarily guaranteed to be the case. So just remember that, guys, keep your expectations realistic. I think that Hcmc could be a fantastic hold going forwards into the future. I thought we'd just bring you a quick update video giving you all of my opinions. I hope you enjoyed this very quick one. If you did, though, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I will see you in tomorrow's episode. Goodbye, enjoy the rest of your day.